Hello and welcome back to a DIY video. Today Nick is going to show us how to make a very simple DIY wiring harness for the Redarc BCDC charger range. This works for the BCDC 1225s, 1240s and 1250s. We have got a BCDC 1240 here. For the 1240 we are using 6 BNS cable for the start battery input and for the charge output, and we use 8 BNS cable for the solar input. If this would be a 25 amp charger, we would use 8 BNS for the start battery and secondary battery in and output, and we would use 6mm twin core for the solar, but the rest is going to be exactly the same. So the way this works is that we are going to join all the grounds together from all the cables that we've got, and then solder them onto this one ground cable. Another way of doing that would be to crimp them all together into a lug, and then you can even use that lug for a body earth if you have to. So these DIY harnesses are for an under bonnet installation of the BCDC charger. And then the other bits that we're going to do is we're going to solder the start battery input together like that. The secondary battery output is going to be soldered together like that, and the solar input will be soldered together like that. And that's all you need. Then you have got one twin core cable going to your start battery, one twin core cable going to your secondary battery, and one twin core cable going to your solar input, Anderson plug solar input or a roof solar panel. So to see all the details, Nick will now solder everything together so you can see how proper soldering is done. And then another thing that you have to be aware of is this blue cable. If you've got a smart alternator, you would connect this cable to an ignition source so that the DC-DC charger turns on and off when ignition turns on and off. And these two cables here, you can have a look into your user manual. They are being used to configure the DC-DC charger to its charge profile. If you use an AGM charge profile, as we're going to do, you just leave them open. If you would use a lithium charge profile, you solder them together. That's it. That's all the settings you have to do with it. So enjoy the rest of the video. You can have a look how the professionals are soldering, right, Nikki?
Yeah.
Cool. And then we have a look at the final product later on. This is what the finished harness looks like, or the DIY harness. So see, what we've got is, we've got one connection where all the grounds connect together. Then we've got one twin core cable here. That is input, that's going to the start battery, positive and negative, obviously running through a fuse at the start battery. And then we have got our solar input, which is going to the yellow cable and to the black. Just a twin core cable that you can put into an Anderson plug or directly to a solar panel. And then we've got our output right here that is going to the black again, and it's going to the brown cable because that's the output of the charger. The red is the input from the start battery. So start battery to the red, your secondary battery brown, solar yellow, and then all the grounds joined together, and that way you've automatically got a ground connection from your secondary battery to vehicle chassis ground. That's going through the negative terminal of the start battery directly to chassis. The most simple way of making a harness for a BCDC charger. And now we're gonna install it into the Prado and show you how all of that works. the BCDC DIY installation harness is halfway through the install. As you can see, we've now installed the BCDC charger here. The start battery cable is sleeved and is running to the start battery now. The secondary battery cable is sleeved and is running to where the secondary battery will be soon. We've already split up the red cable in the 6BNS twin core cable and the black. The black is connected to ground here, and from here it's automatically connected to the start battery. And then we do run the red cable to battery positive through a fuse directly off battery positive. We will do exactly the same thing on the secondary battery, except that we run directly to the negative terminal. And the cool thing with this setup is that the negative terminal will be linked through the solder joint close to the DC-DC charger to ground of the vehicle right here, and then also to battery negative of the start battery. That way your secondary battery is earthed straight away with that type of setup. And then we've got our solar plug in here. You can see the Anderson plug, and that has got our 8BNS positive and negative cable in it that go to the yellow cable and also to ground. This is what the finished product looks like, or the finished DIY harness. DC-DC chargers here, the cables split up in both directions. Then we have got one ground cable connected here. That is going directly to the body, where we've got the ground connected for the secondary battery. But you could have run the cable directly to the terminal as well. This is the positive, which is going through a fuse to the positive holder. We generally use twin MIDI fuse holders. You can buy them from our shop as well. They are the easiest to put onto the battery clamps. We got special brackets for that as well. I can show you on the start battery. So right here, we use our pre-made brackets that you can just pop, rivet or screw onto the battery terminal and then put the twin MIDI holder. And you can see this is the DC-DC charger input. So this is where the red cable from the DC-DC charger with its multi-core cable goes to. Ground, solar input, there's your DC-DC charger. And that's all you need to do. You just need a twin core cable to the secondary battery, a twin core cable to the start battery, a twin core cable to your solar input, and you're all set. That is all you need to do about doing a DIY harness for your Redarc BCDC charger. Also works for the Enerdrive DC-DC chargers. It works for the Intervolt DC-DC chargers, and to a degree, but slightly different, to the Victron DC-DC chargers as well. If you want to know more, please find a link to our website perthpro.com.au. You can find all the parts that we've shown you in this video on the website, and you can also find lots more little hints, tips and tricks and tutorials. Thank you very much, and see you for the next video.